When you're building out your marketing, make sure even if you're nurturing your lead and you've got an email sequence, it's a follow-up, make it less about sales and I want to buy your property and more about the problems you're solving.
Right.
If you've got an email sequence, put some case studies in there, put some FAQs in there, put some, hey, if you've got a property that you've inherited and probate hasn't done, here's what you're going to need to know.
Yeah.
Or if you've got tenants in the property that you can't evict because of certain things, here's what you need to know. Like, start to be just educational and helpful. Alex Hormozy calls it edutainment, right? How do you educate and be entertaining at the same time? So getting people to read stuff, but getting them to feel like, oh, that was actually pretty helpful. That's marketing. A lot of people think marketing's just putting $1 in and expecting $1 back, but it's so much more than that.
Yeah. And you have to talk to people, at least in the US, at a third grade level. They have found that is the optimum level where you're not talking above people. You're not, because even, a smart person may not understand, what the HUD is or the closing document or, because this is not their area of expertise.
Yeah.
So, speak to people just very plain, very simple. Hey, I'm going to solve your problem. That's the goal.
Exactly. And that's where I love the service that you guys have too, right? Because what I love about you guys is you're very cognizant of the seller and the buyer and where they're at. And for the sellers, there is a certain way that you need to manage them and manage the expectation, but also a way that you're talking to them about next steps. It's not going to make them run away. So, those things, it's a really precarious time up until the money's in the bank. It ain't done yet, right? So it's knowing how to handle those conversations is a bit of a craft in itself. And that's like, even when we set up our cold call team 7 months ago, we did quite a lot of research on the different companies out there and what they're doing and the scripts and all that stuff, and really just started to go, well, how can we do this a little differently that's going to enable more conversations to happen? That's not going to be your typical, hey, this is a cold call. And that's all about being more conversational, getting people talking, asking more questions and talking less. But different ways to do that too, right? So, I love what we do, and I love the fact that we get to get into this with so many people. It's really exciting.